My brothers and sisters, my dearest children, and indeed we're so happy and blessed to have them with us today, because it is indeed the first Jum'ah of the year 2025. And there is a lot of talk as we're stepping into a new year that I need to define my goals for life. What are my objectives and goals for the upcoming year? And for us as Muslimin, we need to reevaluate our goals in life constantly and make sure that they align with the purpose of our creation. And my khutbah today will be both for the young people, my hope, the hope of their families, the hope of the Ummah, and for the parents as well. Because when we look into the life of the Sahaba, and we look more specifically to the life of Ibn Abbas, the cousin of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who upon the death of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to his own friend from the Ansar, why don't we take it among ourselves to collect and seek the knowledge that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had left behind him? And the response of his friend was the following: Ibn Abbas, you're still a young boy, a young man, a boy, and this is something that many of the Sahaba have done it. We have Abu Hurairah, who collected a lot of ahadith. We have Abu Bakr and Umar. Why don't you focus on to getting a profession that would help you to maintain your living and live a comfortable life? Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu did not undermine the fact that he needs to earn and he needs to be financially stable and secure in his life. That's out of the question. But he did not set a very shallow target and goal for him to live for in his life. He knew that this life is a gift from Allah, and one day he will need to depart, to leave. And once he leaves, there is no return, and whatever is ahead of him is what will be the eternal life. And whatever he invests and secure for his upcoming life is indeed the ultimate success. And he learned from the Prophet ﷺ that one of the ways to do it is to seek the knowledge. So he ignored this shallow advice from his own friend and rolled his sleeves and started seeking the knowledge. And as the seerah reports to us, that one of the incidents happened that he sat by the door of one of the Ansar in one of the hot summer days. And people would normally at noontime take their nap. No one would walk in the streets because it's a very hot day. Ibn Abbas sat by the door of this Ansari, the senior Ansari, and he slept by the footstep by the door until the Ansari would wake up, and by the time he leaves, he will find him there. And this is what happened. When the Ansari came out, the senior Ansari found a boy sleeping by the footsteps of his door, of his house. And he inquired to find out that this is the cousin of the Prophet ﷺ, and said, Ya ibn Ammi Rasulillah, oh, the cousin of the Prophet ﷺ, what makes you sleep or snooze at the door of my house? He said to him, I wanted to seek the knowledge and learn some of the ahadith you have reported from the Prophet ﷺ. And that Ansari was overwhelmed. And he said, Ya ibn Ammi Rasulillah, oh, the cousin of the Prophet ﷺ, I am who should be coming to you because you are the cousin of the Prophet ﷺ. And Ibn Abbas corrected the perspective and said, no, I shall be the one who seeks the knowledge and strive and struggle to earn it. And then later on, Ibn Abbas, because of his dedication and hard work, he became the habr of the Ummah, the most knowledgeable resource of the Ummah. Whenever we need something, there is a school of thought that is dedicated by his name, the school of Ibn Abbas, versus the school of Ibn Umar, the son of Umar ibn Khattab. And both of them were young people, but they were focused in their life and dedicated into aiming and achieving something will be beneficial for them as well as for the Muslim Ummah in general. So this was their aim. They worked very hard and they dedicated their time. And now they did not only achieve success in their lifetime to be able to live a comfortable life materialistically, but also they were able to leave behind them legacy that still will continue until the end of life on earth. Who does not know Ibn Abbas and who does not know Ibn Umar? The same is to be said also about Ash-Shafi'i rahmatullahi alayhi, who was born as an orphan, yet his poverty, the lack of the resources to him, did not prevent him from excelling and from prospering in his life and from working very hard to leave behind him afterwards a legacy that nowadays we call it al-madhhab al-Shafi'i, the school of thought of al-Imam al-Shafi'i. When you examine how al-Shafi'i, because of his hard work and dedication, was able to achieve a lot in his life, he was able to achieve a legacy. That's because he did not only aim to live a life, he wanted to be a unique person. He wanted to be someone who is able to leave behind him not legacy for the fame and name, but a legacy that would serve the deen of Allah and will be beneficial for him when he leaves this dunya to the hereafter. This is what should be inspiring our youth. This is what should be inspiring them into working really hard and be focused in their life. And these are not examples that we say that happened many hundreds of years ago. Nowadays, you still can see people from the generations we're living in right now. Once in one of the masajid, I met this young man. I'm going to mention his name because he's not in this province. And I promised that I will be talking about him. When we were preparing for a workshop and the setup of the projectors and the online setting and the social media, they will be saying, Zayd will do it, Zayd will do it. And I was like, who's this Zayd that has, has become a person known in the masjid, taking care of all the arrangements? And Zayd turned to be a young brother by his 10 years or 11 years old. And I was like, are you Zayd? He said, yes. I said, how come you have built that legacy? He said, I always invest my time in something useful. When my dad gives me his laptop, I use his laptop into learning how to use it in a beneficial way. And I said, SubhanAllah, contrast this with many of the young people who lag on the head of their own parents, asking for expensive gadgets for simple reason that they want to play games and navigate the social media and waste not their time but their life. Because you are counted seconds. Your life is counted seconds. That's what your heartbeats are telling you. Do not waste any second without benefiting from them. We're not saying you need to stay out of touch of the technology. We're not saying do not be up to date with what's happening in the advancement of the technology. We're saying do not allow this advancement of technology to waste your life, but rather utilize it in a way that would make you able to benefit from it into serving the deen of Allah Azza wa Jalla. who also embraced me about her dedication of reading. She has an app in her phone that she counts how many books and how many pages she has read, despite of the fact that people by her age would be wasting their time literally by watching nonsense materials on streaming live TVs or playing video games on their gadgets. She utilized her time to enrich her knowledge and depth and create depth into the knowledge that she needs to be aware of, though that she's still young at her age. These are models that we need to introduce in our life to the young people so that they will understand that my role in life is not just to live and eat, because we do eat excessively and we do wear things that is lavish and we do buy gadgets that are not necessary and very expensive for no reason but to destroy our life and waste our time. I want to take this into talking also about how these inspiring words are not only dedicated for boys. It's not that Islam only focuses on giving hope and building hopes and inspiring only boys or young men. When we explore the Quran, we will see how a young woman like Maryam alayhi salam, because of her own dedication into learning the deen and devotion into the ibadah of Allah Azza wa Jal, was able to exceed and inspire a prophet at her time, which is Zakaria. As Allah mentioned that to us in the Quran, كلما دخل عليها زكريا المحراب وجد عندها رزقا قال يا مريم أن لك هذا؟ قالت هو من عند الله إن الله يرزق من يشاء بغير حساب. Subhanallah. The Mufassirun said, yes, indeed, she would have the fruits of the summer in the winter and the winter fruits in the summer. But one of the most beautiful tafsir, which I think that's what probably she was presenting to Zakaria, is not knowledge. Zakaria would be amazed of how a young woman by her age is able to inspire him and give him incitements in the knowledge of the deen that he himself was not paying attention to. And that's why after that immediately Zakaria alayhi salam became conscious that Allah Azza wa Jal is the ultimate power. And that's why he learned after that whatever Allah wishes will happen. And that's why after that he learned that he can put his trust in Allah Azza wa Jal the Mighty. هنالك دعا زكريا ربه قال رب هب لي من لدنك ذرية طيبة إنك سميع الدعاء. As a result of that, Zakaria turned to Allah and made his famous dua. Allah gave him Yahya, a prophet of Allah Azza wa Jal. And that's why Maryam alayhi salam, because of her dedication into the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal, was worthy to be the mother of Isa alayhi salam, who the majority of the people on the earth are celebrating his birth and following his faith, despite of the changes afterwards that happened in his followers' beliefs. But that gives you an idea of how Islam also looks into the huge contribution and empowerment of and the role of the females in Islam into the deen of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Look into what Aisha radiallahu anha have done. How she have reported from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, majority of the ahadith, most of the ahadith that were reported to us were coming to us from Aisha radiallahu anha, this young woman who have dedicated her life for seeking the knowledge and serving the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal, whom she taught afterwards her own nephews like Ibn al-Zubayr and Abdullah ibn Zubayr ibn al-Awwam, and all the Sahaba who used to come to her as the mother of the believer, the young Sahaba, and would be inspired, would be learning from her knowledge. and learn the ahadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now, when we look at all these examples, we will see one common thread between all these examples. We will see that these young people did not come out of vacuum. They just did not happen to be haphazardly genius children, gifted children, that they were able to uniquely be able to excel in serving the deen of Allah Azza wa Jalla. You will find that what's behind these young, gifted individuals, boys and girls, were their own parents. Starting from the Prophet, from Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, who the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam recognized his talents and made a dua for him, Allahumma faqihhu fi ddin. And he was, as a result of that, becoming afterwards Habrul Ummah, the most learned person of Ummah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The dua of the parents plays a huge role into shaping the life of their children, just like what happened with Maryam alayhi salam and her son Isa alayhi salam, who were the dua of the mother of Maryam, or Imra'at Imran, as it is mentioned to us in the Quran, in a chapter that is dedicated to speak about the family of Imran. إن الله اصطفى آدم ونوحا وآل إبراهيم وآل عمران على العالمين ذرية بعضها من بعض. Allahu Akbar. Allah Azza honored the family of Imran. Why? Because of the dedication and the knowledge that the family of Imran had, and because of the dua of the wife of Imran. إذ قالت رب إني نذرت لك ما في بطني محررا فتقبل مني إنك أنت السميع العليم. When she devoted what's in her tummy to Allah Azza, and when she put it, she said, Ya Allah, inni wada'tuha untha. Wallahu a'lamu bima wada'at wa laysa dhakaru kal untha, to honor the state of the female in Islam. And then she made a beautiful dua. وَإِنِّي أُعِيدُهَا بِكَ وَذُرِّيَّتَهَا مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. Allahu Akbar. She made a dua for her daughter about the delivery. The minute she landed into this life, she made a dua, إِنِّي أُعِيدُهَا بِكَ وَذُرِّيَّتَهَا مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. Ya Allah, protecting her and her progeny. Isa alayhi salam was included in the dua of his grandmother. وَإِنِّي أُعِيدُهَا بِكَ وَذُرِّيَّتَهَا مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. As a result of that, Allah Azza wa Jal said to her, فَتَقَبَّلَهَا رَبُّهَا بِقَبُولٍ حَسَنٍ. Allah accepted her with a beautiful acceptance. وَأَنْبَتَهَا نَبَاتًا حَسَنًا, and provided for her a beautiful incubating environment. وَكَفَّلَهَا زَكَرِيَّا, and made Zakaria, the Prophet of Allah Azza wa Jal, to be the one who looks after Maryam alayhi salam. And look into also the mother of Ash-Shafi'i. Forgive me for taking a little longer time, because it's a day is most of the day offered for children to conclude in short time. Ash-Shafi'i's mother was a woman that many of us should be saluting and praising for the hard work and dedication she invested and she did into bringing Ash-Shafi'i to the Ummah. He was born as an orphan. She dedicated her life for her son. She traveled for him. She worked for him. She did everything for him so that he will be afterwards Ash-Shafi'i who have provided the knowledge to the Ummah that inspired the generations to come. And we have a school of thought that's called the school of Ash-Shafi'i, or Madhab Ash-Shafi'i. This is something to tell us that the role of the parents, and more specifically the mothers, is very significant into shaping the personality of our children. We are living indeed in a very difficult time. A difficult time that if we do not use our dua and dedication of ibadah, and also dedication in tarbiyah, because after all, one of the most important roles of tarbiyah is the role modeling, which is doing yourself what needs to be done so that your children will be inspired with it and learn it from you as they move on in their life. And in conclusion, inshallah, Ash-Shafi'i was born in Gaza. And his mother demonstrated to us what's it like to raise a giant, to raise a Shafi'i. And right now, as we're speaking, we're seeing the same happening with the mothers in Gaza. How many of you have seen a social media clip showing children? We're not talking about young men, children. Latest of which is a clip that I received for about 3 years old boy who give literally a Jum'ah khutbah, standing and speaking, and he's barely able to stand up. And I said, subhanAllah, where is this coming from? Where is this resilience and where is this determination? Where is this focus? Where is this hope is coming from? Definitely it's not coming from a newborn. It's coming from the womb that held that newborn and nurtured it. Not only with nursing the milk, but nursed the Quran and the Deen. Look into right now what we're seeing in Gaza, a dedication in the new generation, believing in the power of the mighty of Allah Azza wa Jal. We're seeing young people speaking something that the leaders of the Muslim world and the whole world and the most of the speakers and the shuyukh and the mashayikh of the Muslim Ummah would not be able to say. Why? Because they're learning and they were inspired by mothers who have taught them the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal, the integrity. May Allah Azza wa Jal, from His rahmah, continue to empower them and make them a purpose not only for the waking up of the Muslim Ummah, but changing the conditions of the whole world. And ala kulli shay'in qadir. Wa aqulu qawli hadha wa astaghfirullaha li wa lakum wastaghfiruhu fa innahu huwal ghafurur rahim. Alhamdulillah, nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa na'udhu billahi min shururi sayyi'ati a'malina. Man yahdihillahu fa huwal muhtadi wa man yudlil falan tajida lahu waliyan murshida. Inna Allaha wa malaikatahu yusalluna 'alan nabi. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu 'alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli 'ala Muhammadin wa 'ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita 'ala Ibrahim wa 'ala ali Ibrahim wa barik 'ala Muhammadin wa 'ala ali Muhammad kama barakta 'ala Ibrahim wa 'ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. Allahumma inna 'abidaka abna'u 'abidika abna'u imaika nawasina ya Rabbi biyadika madin ya Rabbi fina hukmuka 'adlun fina qada'uka. نسألك اللهم بكل اسم هو لك سميت به نفسك أنزلته في كتابك وعلمته أحدا من خلقك أو استأثرت به في علم الغيب عندك لأن تجعل القرآن العظيم ربيع قلوبنا اجعله جلاء لهمومنا وأحزاننا يا رب العالمين. اللهم نسألك في هذا البيت من بيوتك وفي هذه الساعة المباركة وفي هذا اليوم الفضيل بأن تهدي أبناءنا. ربنا تقبلهم فإنك أنت السميع العليم. اللهم تقبلهم قبول. اللهم نعيذهم بك وذريتهم من الشيطان الرجيم. اللهم تقبلهم قبول حسن وأنبتهم نباتا حسنا. اللهم اجعلنا لهم في التربية كزكريا واجعلهم لنا في البر كمريم فإنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم ارحم أهلنا في فلسطين. اللهم ارحمهم في الصومال وفي السودان. اللهم ارحم المسلمين في مشارق الأرض ومغاربها. اللهم تمم لنا فتحنا ونصرنا في الشام. اللهم بارك لنا فيها. اللهم وأقر أعيننا بالصلاة في المسجد الأقصى آمنين مطمئنين فإنك على كل شيء قدير. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وأهل الصلاة.